Environmental footprint.
I want you to remember,
The Earth is our home. We share it with all living things.
our environmental footprint lets us compare our lives with other people to know if we're sharing the Earth in a fair way. Your environmental footprint gets
Bigger
or
smaller
depending on many little choices you make every day. When you add up all the little choices, it makes a big difference. We can make the biggest difference if you, your family, your classmates, and all
35 million
Canadians make better choices. So count yourself in and start taking small actions to shrink your environmental footprint. Remember, our
environmental footprint
is made up of 5 categories: food, water, transportation, garbage, and energy. There are things that we can do to try to be kinder to nature in all of these categories. Let's take a look at the
food
part. We need food to stay alive. Canadians are lucky. We have a lot of choice about what we can eat. Today we can go to the grocery store and choose what we want to eat from hundreds of different foods from all over the world. But people haven't always gone to a grocery store to get their food.
In fact, for most of human history, people have had a tough time making sure they had enough food on the table.
300 years ago, before there were grocery stores, we had a lot less choice about what we would eat. You're living even just 100 years ago in Parry Sound. What's for dinner and where did it come from? In the summer, you might have dandelions for salads, juniper berries, gooseberries, or cranberries. You might be lucky enough to live near an area where wild rice grows. You could only eat what you could find, catch, or grow yourself. You would have looked for berries, nuts, fish, and plants that you could eat. It would also depend on how good you and your family were at hunting or fishing. In the winter, you would eat preserved meat and fish. You would eat what grew near you.
Does this look like your dinner?
Today we have an almost unlimited choice of foods. We have so much choice that sometimes it's hard to decide what we're going to eat. Every time we make a choice, we have an effect on our environmental footprint. Nowadays, most of our food comes from very far away, at least one province over. It gets shipped to us on trucks, trains, ships, and planes. This makes our food footprint very large. Today, an average Canadian's food travels 2,400 kilometers from field to table. That's about a quarter the length of Canada.
That's far! Where in the world does your food come from?
Next time you're in the grocery store, you should find out. Check out the food label. So how do we shrink our food footprint? There are some simple N words that you can remember. They are natural, near, and naked. Natural foods look like they do when you dig them up out of the ground, pull them off a tree, or pick them off a plant. They haven't been changed. When we add things to food or change them from the way they are naturally, we are using energy and sometimes creating garbage. And usually, when we change food, it makes it less healthy. For example, a baked potato is far better for you and better for the environment than a bag of chips. Let's think about what happens to a bag of chips before it gets to you. Potatoes have to be cleaned, peeled and cut, fried, dried, flavored and bagged, and moved. That takes energy. And if you ate a baked potato instead of a bag of chips, that would be one less chip bag going to the garbage dump. Near means that the food is grown near you. Apples grown in Parry Sound are nearer to you than bananas grown in Australia. Because of the type of environment that you live in, some foods will not grow nearby. Canada's weather doesn't let us grow tropical fruits like pineapples and mangoes. Eating local food shrinks your environmental footprint because it means your food doesn't have to come from far away on big refrigerated trucks or planes that travel long distances and pollute the environment. Naked foods are foods with no clothing like wrapping or packaging. No plastic bags, cellophane wrappers, tin cans, bottles, Tetra Paks, or cases. For example, naked carrots have their skins on them and are tied by their greens with an elastic band. This is different from the pre-cut mini carrots in a plastic bag that we often see in the grocery store. You can help. When we buy local foods, it helps to support the farmers near us and keeps our community healthy. When we move our food around the world instead of eating what's near us, we burn a lot of fuel that pollutes our environment. You can help by snacking on local fruits and veggies. It'll shrink your footprint.